Hello everyone, Manu here from Studio and in this short tutorial, well, two parts. We're gonna learn what the hell are CMS, framework CMS, when to use them, right? How detailed page works, connecting variables, setting up CMS, and also components, right? How to connect components using variables and also the responsiveness. Because why not? Yeah. So let's quickly just head on to what are CMS. And I like to see like why I like to explain CMS they're just like every normal websites. Like there's really no difference. Just that the only thing is peculiar to CMS is each of your content will just have a particular structure, right? So say for example, when do you want to use a CMS, right? If I'm building a page like an hero section like this, so this is one of our templates still, which will be launching soon. I'm building a template like this, right? This is really customized, right? Like so many different stuff. I won't use a CMS for this because it is probably like a landing page. I'm trying to show the creativity on in that point, right? So there won't be no need for a CMS page for this sort of stuff. But if there are scenarios where like I want to have lots of content on a page, it could be images, right? Could be just text, blog, for example, a case study page, a career page, a job detail page, like those sort of stuff. Then it's wiser for me to build it as a CMS. Let me give you an example. So if I have this career details page, right? Right. So this is front end engineer job role. If I come here now and I want another page and I duplicate this and I say this is UX designer, right? And I come here and change the about us, change the role, change the experience, and change the link here, right? Then it won't really make sense for me to keep on doing this every single time, right? It won't really make sense for me to keep on doing this every single time, and that's where CMS solves that problem. So I could have this similar structure here. So I want this is my normal nav. This would be my hero image. This is some content, and this is another image. Then I could set that in my CMS that okay, this is an image, this is this, then this is it, this is this, right? And for the other pages to just follow the same stuff based on the content I had, right? And it's way much better that way. Now, there are some issues with CMS. I would like to address them. Right, one is doesn't give you creative freedom, right? Because you can't really say you want this to be here, right? Or you want this to be here for this particular stuff, right? And the way that works is really tricky, right? It's not that it's not possible, it's just really tricky. The reason I say it's tricky is because you can't really come here and say okay, I want this to be like this. If you make any changes here, it's affecting the same one too here. Right. So the best thing you could do is add on to your CMS and add a conditioner, right? So you could add a conditioner here, a toggle, which is featured, yes or no. Right. Let me just add featured, right? And I could come to my blog page and say if this is featured, this element should be visible, right? So visible only if um featured, if it is featured, right? If it is not featured, it will not be visible. Now, if I come here to this part, which is best practices, and I set the best practices to feature to no, then that should element should no longer be visible, right? Like there are scenarios where that works well. But if scenarios where like I want to change the layout, like I want this element to be on the top, I want it to be center aligned, right? And I want this one to be this, and this one to be like this. Let me drag this, sorry. Let me drag this and put this here. Same CMS page, but I want them to look like this, right? Same CMS page. Now this gets really tricky. You have to use a lot of stuff, and there are scenarios where you may then have to like duplicate some of those stuff. Like you then have to like duplicate that. Okay, when this is this, then do this. So for example, I could say here now and change this to a component. Just want to show you some stuff. And let me remove changes to pink, right? So I could now say here on toggle, like if this is featured, then change this to variant one. If it is not, change this to variant two. You can see how you can do those sort of stuff, right? But then it's still possible, but it's tricky, right? Because you could end up duplicating several stuff, and SEO is not really good for SEO where you have a content H1 to H1 in a page, right? Something you want to look out for. So I would really advise, if you want like creative pages, maybe some case study pages where they are like different, like totally different layouts, right? I will totally suggest you just build them separately, right? You could just add on to this part, duplicate the page, and just make the changes, right? Rather than using CMS, because it become really, really stressful for you and might not really work well SEO wise, right? So since that is out of the picture, let's look at what stuff you could do with CMS and how basically it works. Right. I'm going to add on to this part and delete all of my CMS item so I can have like a blank state. Right. So if you click on CMS, so let's say I want a blog, for example, right, or maybe anything like a portfolio, right? There are two modes that you could do this. You could use this an upload file, like you've added all your items already, or maybe on a table, right, on Google spreadsheet, and you could just upload that file here. So let me try doing one, right? They didn't really work well, right? Because all of the items are not configured properly. But like those are how you can upload the same CSV file after adding them, right? Or you could also just use their default one, which is add block, right? And what this does is it create all those items automatically. It creates an index page. So an index page is how a CMS will look like. Then you can then click on it to go to that particular page, right? And also a detailed page, which is how this looks like, right? I don't really like those method, right? Um, the best way, in my opinion, to building CMS page is first design the page and convert that page to a CMS. Let me show you. So I've designed this page, right, and I want to convert this page now to a CMS. Let me add the link here, made by duo.com, right? I think that has been connected, and I want to add this. So all I just have to do now is click here, convert to CMS page, and I can call this jobs, and you can see like every single stuff has been done already. Every single, at least almost everything, almost all the input has been done. So I could come here, edit field, and change this. So this first one is um type, which we have like full time and part time, right? So just call this type. Also, I'll change this title 3 to, I think I don't need title 3, but let me check this. So yeah, I don't need title 3. Title 3 is not needed because it's like the title of those stuff. I'm not making any change to that, right? Same thing with experience. I think what most stuff I could add here now is role. We have the name, location, yeah, location, and I'm going to give this default remote, right? And this one is now about us. Next content is about the team, about about course, right? About role, and this is experience. And I think one more stuff I could add here, right? To just I just click here and select any stuff. Our add here would be the link, which is apply, right? And that's basically everything. We might also want to change this type to an option field, right? Type, and let us change this to full time, part time, and we could add more like contract, but let's just use those two and remove this. right? And since that is done now, we could save this, head on to our page back and select our link. Let us put google.com. Now this has been done. If we head on to our page, this is already a CMS page, right? Like you've noticed, almost all the contents are done, and the one is showing missing because of I deleted it. So you could just click here to the variable and set it, right? Do the same thing to for those stuff that are missing. Click here and set this to location. I think this should not be location remote. Yeah, then this should be to be type, right? And I think I'll stop here. Then we could go to the part two where we dive deep into variables. 'Cause I'm sure you've noticed what are those blue stuff. Variables and also components containing building a more beautiful detailed page, components and all those stuff. Yeah, I'll see you in the next part.